up, everyone? What's up, Goal? How you doing? Happy Friday, everyone. It's been a great week. It's been a fantastic week. Let's give it a second for everyone to hop in here. And then we'll get started. What's up, Rusty? How you doing? How's everyone doing this week so far? Everyone's doing well? What's up, Mohammed? How are you? All right, so weakness here in pre-market for most names, not all, but most. QQQ down 0.3%, SPY down 0.45. We are sitting at this shelf here. All right, we have this previous support, bounced a few times a little bit lower, acted as support here. Right, resistance here, resistance here. We're sitting right above it pre-market. You gave up a month of gains in the last 2 days trying to catch a knife on Netflix. I try and tell you. You're probably chasing profits. You're chasing profits. You can't be chasing profits. You gotta just stick to the plan and, you know, take it slow. You gotta take it slow. All right. So Q's, I want to see it hold 375.88. If not, we're going to push down to 374. SPY sitting below 448 right now. Wasn't able to hold 450. Right, 450 would have been solid if we can hold that. We're sitting at this next level here, all right, 448. If that can't hold, probably going to push to. Let's take a look at the daily here. Not really many levels in between here. Probably going to push to this next level below. 445. Wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, if everyone could like the video, that'd be great. VIX broke down yesterday. Right, we tested this previous support again. Right, bounced once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Right, multiple times. So I'm going to set an alert right here. If it starts pushing up, again, it's going to start to move down. I'll set an alert to low also. Actually, not yet. Not yet. Yeah, I'll set an alert to low. If it starts to drop down, that means we're going to go to the upside. NVIDIA. I like to look at NVIDIA here. Higher lows, lower highs, sitting right above that shelf that I continue to mention. 452.08, right? Previous resistance, support, sitting right at it. So if we can break to the upside here and break through 459.87, I like it to the upside. If not, you know, we're probably going to drop down and hit 443. Big level, though, that we're sitting at. Tesla up 0.7%. We have a gap to fill to the upside. We could definitely watch this long here at open. Okay. We could definitely watch this at open for calls. Right. If we can push through 280.93, we have, a gap to fill to around 289. So it could be a pretty solid move here on Tesla. Clean up this chart a bit. So that looks very, very solid. The video looks solid too. Coin, right? We had this flag that I was mentioning yesterday, broke out. It's kind of consolidating. Looks pretty good if it can break over this flag now. Right? It started to consolidate. So if it can break over that flag, I'd look to go long here, or even like this level right here. I'll set an alert. 83.7 or so. Keep an eye on it. Meta looks solid. I like this a little bit better. We can do this for a continuation play. Right, we have this shelf here. Previous support acted as resistance at 309. If it can push through that high, I think we can push up to 318 or so. Looks pretty good. Shop looks very solid. Also, I'm gonna move this up. All right, so we have a gap to fill to the downside. We almost tried to fill all the way through. But it pulled back and created a higher low. So now we have a support right in this zone here. We're sitting right above it. If it can hold, great. If we can push through 63.83, fantastic. Looks pretty solid though. If it breaks down, then we're gonna retest that previous candle down here. Google is sitting at this previous resistance. We'll have to wait to see what happens there. If it could break this previous high, then it should continue. Apple's green here, pre-market, which is different than what's been happening the entire week. Right? They've been pretty red the entire week. But we do have this previous resistance up here, where we bounced off the support now. Right? Support, like perfect bounce, and it's up a little bit here. So we'll see what happens at open. They'll really set up at open for that. Netflix, huge sell-off. Sitting at support here, but I wouldn't touch it. Amazon down 1.3%. It's below that previous resistance. If you could play puts into it. If it rejects it, then that looks pretty solid, but not something that I would play. Let's see what's going on here. Kind of looks like a rising wedge is forming a little bit. Not the best setup though. PayPal, Microsoft, just not interested at all to play that. ABBA, we could potentially kind of trade this little wedge right into this previous support. We do have a gap to fill to the downside right below this previous support there. So if it does drop, it's probably going to likely fill that right there. Let's change this to red, and we could change this to green. Right, so this is a pretty solid reversal setup. If you wanted to go long on and you're bullish on China, right? We kind of have this base forming at this previous low. We're kind of consolidating within this little wedge here. If it can break through 88.6, it looks pretty good. I'll set an alert. And then AMD, no, looks kind of crappy. And then that, no. So Tesla looks, like the best here, along with SPY and QQQ. You got burned on Meta. You played intraday. Short fib after the draw, just blast off the lows. Less setups the better, guys. All right, don't be taking a million trades a day. iPhone pre-orders are looking good. 4 to 5 week delay now. Yeah, I don't really understand why. It's literally the same exact thing as the previous iPhone, right? Is there really any difference? OPEX today also. Yes, thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it. So end of day is going to be pretty volatile. Most all funds are going to be rebalancing. Yep. Yep. So that's really it. Anyone have any questions about anything? Tesla looks pretty solid though. Tesla entry. I want to see it kind of hold this previous level I have here, 276.99. If it can hold that, I'd consider an entry. Or if it breaks this resistance, which is we're right there, you know, it's gonna test it right at open probably. But it's hard to give you a specific entry point. It's more so of how it reacts at open. Does that make sense? Year above. I never look at the 10-year, honestly. Just play the charts. Play the charts. That's really it. So I'm gonna go get the Zoom set up, get my coffee. Some decent setups today. Nothing really too special though. If we opened flat, it would have been way better. Right, the video would have been, you know, solid here. For a move to the upside, I think we would have been able to test probably 478, honestly, or even 475 probably. Shop looked good too. Meta looked pretty solid. All these names looked good, but now the pre-market is down a little bit. It's a little different, but yeah, if you want size smaller on Fridays, the thing is, right, if you trade 0 DTE during the week, it's the same thing as a Friday. You know, if you don't trade SPY, QQQ, 0 DTs, then it's more risky. Right, a lot of people will say size smaller on Fridays, which, you know, not a bad idea. It's never a bad idea to size smaller, but it's just 0 DTE, right? So it's the same risk that, you know, it is every other day, right? I trade 0 DTs all the time. It's risky. 0 DTs are risky. you could take next week expiration or next, you know, the further expiration out. That's always a safer option. And that's always an option as well, right? If I'm taking, you know, a trade, you can always take the next expiration. You know, it's not going to move as much, but it's going to be safer. So, with that being said, appreciate everyone stopping by. If you can drop a like before you head out, that'd be fantastic.